Hey guys, I'm here today with actor David Sheftell to talk a little bit more about Willy's Wonderland, but with some curious perks. How's it going today, David?
I'm good, Vic. How are you today, my friend?
Uh, Pretty good, pretty good. I'm looking pretty shiny in my new webcam, so
I like it. No, looking good.
awesome. So, first question: what motivated you into becoming an actor for television and movies?
So actually, I got into acting kind of in a weird way. I was playing basketball and volleyball in high school, and I was in a volleyball game, and I got the winning point of the game, and I did a victory dance that probably lasted a little too long. So the next day, I
Hmm.
got called in by the head of the theater department for the school. I thought I was in trouble, and she goes, I was at the game yesterday, and I saw your little dance. You're quite the little ham. I like this. So here's what I want to do. I'm doing a musical. It's called Bye Bye Birdie. I want you to play Birdie, and Birdie is basically like Elvis Presley. And I
Ooh.
want you to be the guy, or I'm not going to do the musical. And I went, this is crazy. Okay, I'm super flattered. I don't know if I can do this. What about basketball and volleyball? She goes, there's a half-hour difference between practice and rehearsal. Go to all your practices, go to all your games, and then I'll have someone stand in for you, and then you come to rehearsal. So I was going back and forth. And finally, the coach, even though I went to all the games, all the practices, he stopped playing me. And when I asked him why, he said it was because of the musical. So I didn't know what to do. I talked to my parents who were at the game. They said, "What did he say?" I said, "He says I got to choose between sports and the musical." And my dad said, "Well, what do you want to do?" I said, "Well, one, they make you run, they yell at you, they treat you badly. Here, everybody's nice, everybody's smiling all the time, they're having a happy time." So I said, "This is a no-brainer. I want to do the musical." And my dad said, "Great, go tell that guy to go screw himself." So I did. And when your dad tells you to tell a teacher to go screw himself, you run to tell him to go screw himself.
Yeah, you
So
got that permission.
exactly. So that's what I did, and then I never looked back.
Awesome. That's crazy. I wouldn't think about that.
Exactly. So really, sports got me into acting.
Good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know. So I read your resume on IMDb, and you have done so many cool things. I was wondering, was there a role you have done in the past where you felt very proud of and it helped kickstart your career into full mode?
Probably the biggest thing I had done that really sort of changed my career was this miniseries, the Stephen King miniseries called Bag of Bones on A&E. It was starring Pierce Brosnan. So it was the first time I played like a really sort of meaty role. It was on television. It was a 2-night event, and it's Stephen King. So I played the role of Max DeVore, and he is a bad, bad man. If you watch it, I'm sorry. He's a murderer. He does some horrible things. It takes place. My part takes place in the past. So, but that was the part that really sort of jump started me and got me into this fun horror world, which I seem to keep going into, which is a blast.
That's awesome. That's awesome for Stephen King.
He's the man. I mean, it's the Stephen King, so it was pretty awesome. And Mick Garris, who's a big Stephen King director, was the director. So he did a version of The Stand and a lot of other stuff, and he was wonderful to work with as well.
Oh man, that's huge right there, man. That is huge.
One of my other co-stars who I had most of my scenes with in it, other than Pierce Brosnan, was Anika Noni Rose, who's a phenomenal actress, singer, and all-around wonderful human being. So I had to do some horrible, murdery stuff to her, and she couldn't have been nicer. In fact, one time I'm on top of her with a rock about to kill her, and she had her camera taking pictures for me without me knowing. So while we're trying to do the scene.
You're like, why won't you die? And she's like, hold up.
Yeah, that's the angle. So, but she was absolutely lovely, and she's in Dreamgirls. She's, I believe, Oscar nominated. So, what a privilege to get to work with her.
That's awesome, man. That is really cool. You're right there with the royalty. You know, not only with Stephen King, but you're meeting actors and actresses that have portrayed, and they're fun to be around. You know.
Every actor I've had the opportunity to work with has been nothing but kind and helpful, and I've been able to steal from because they're such good actors. So that's how you get to be a better actor. You just steal from the greats.
Oh yeah, it's like don't worry about that. Let me just put this in my back pocket. You know.
Exactly. Oh, that's what they're doing. Okay, got it.
So because of that show, do you believe that's how you got involved with Willy's Wonderland?
I think it helped a little bit for sure. So I mean, I did audition. I put myself on tape for it, and I got picked out of all the wonderful people who auditioned for it. But definitely my portrayal in Bag of Bones, I think, definitely helped.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Although I play a very different character in this one. So I played a very bad man in that one, and I play a not so bad guy in this one, pretty decent guy in this one.
Oh,
So
really? So no rock throwing this time. I'm killing
no
people.
rock throwing.
But that's cool. I'm digging that. I'm really digging that. So from Willie's Wonderland Sound, what were there funny stories that were on set that you could talk a little bit about?
Funny stories on set. Well, I'll tell you an interesting story. So Beth Grant, who was one of my co-stars, she and I. So she plays a sheriff, and I play her deputy in the movie. And she is such a lovely human being. So we had some scenes. So we were in a car for about 12 hours working on scenes, and then we had about a week break, and we had another scene coming up after that week. So we were shooting in Atlanta. We flew back to LA, and she said, "Oh, while we're in LA, why don't you come over to my house and we'll work on the scene?" Now, Beth's been in Child's Play 2, so she's no stranger to horror herself. She's been in No Country for Old Men. She is a seasoned, wonderful actress, and she's inviting me to her house. So she and her husband, they made me lunch. We hung out all day. Like it was surreal. It's what like every actor dreams of. And then we worked on the scene while her dog was sitting on my lap. So we're pretending like horrible, crazy stuff is happening, and the dog is just sitting there while I patted him. It was fantastic.
Wow, that's just so cool. That's surreal. You know, like
It
you're
was.
just right there. You know.
And then one of the coolest things was getting to meet the man, Nick Cage himself, who is awesome. He's just super, super cool.
Well, I've been a big fan of Nick Cage for many years. So, did
Dude.
he have a demeanor where you're like, "Oh, and that's Nick Cage," but was he just more calm and comforting?
Super nice, super cool dude. But at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, like there's a point in the movie, I won't spoil it, but I do have to tie him up. And I'm thinking, Cameron Poe, I have to tie up Cameron Poe from from Con Air. This guy could kill me. So I got to be cool, but he couldn't have been nicer. He couldn't have been cooler. And he's doing some amazing acting choices in this. I can't wait for people to see it.
Oh yes, I saw the trailer and I was like, "Wow!" Like that's gonna be an intense movie, but it's gonna be a fun movie as well.
It's going to be a blast. It is a roller coaster ride, this one. So I think everyone's going to have a lot of fun with it. And seeing what we all get to do is kind of crazy.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Speaking on that, what do you want fans to expect when they watch Willy's Wonderland? Like, what's something that's gonna turn their mind around?
Well, they're going to see some crazy stuff. Like I said, I don't want to give anything away, but they're going to see some funny moments. They're going to see some scary moments, and they are just going to have an absolute blast with this. So if you like horror, if you like fun, you're going to absolutely go crazy for Willy's Wonderland.
Awesome. Oh, the total package right there.
The total package. And if you're a Nick Cage fan like you and I are, you're going to absolutely love it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have my popcorn ready, a little bandana ready too. I'm like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And hopefully you'll like a little bit of what I do, which will be fun too.
Oh, of course, of course. I'll be looking for you. I'm like, hey, that's David. Awesome. Thank you for talking to me today. One last question. Where can our fans find you on social media to keep up with your latest projects?
I'm all over the socials. I'm on Instagram at David Sheftell. That's Sheftell. That's two L's. And then Facebook, I'm at D Sheftell. So just D as in David, Sheftell. And then on Twitter, I'm also David Sheftell.
Two L's?
Two L's. Second L is for lovability. How about that? That's a good way to remember it.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Thank you for talking to me today, David. Guys, go check out Willy Wonderland when it comes out on theaters as well as streaming, and have some fun. And of course, throw some popcorn in the air.
Exactly. February 12th.
February 12th, guys. All right, guys. Vic from Drop Spotlight. We'll see you at the cons.